Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 and AM 630. WMAL.
Here's the speed of Robert Griffin. On the run at the 40. Accelerates to the 20. Griffin pulled down at the 16.
Yeah, that was pretty darn exciting.
How about them? How about them skin?
Well, you know what? And the whole nation got to see what we've been learning all year, which is every time Robert Griffin takes that ball under snap or in the shotgun, anything can happen, and you've got to watch every play. That was a great run from him. It was amazing. It's the second immaculate reception, in my opinion, where he was running toward the end zone. He slid on his back. The ball flips up, and lo and behold, it just sort of ended up in the hands of the running back. Took it in for a touchdown.
Like you planned it that way.
Exactly. They claimed they did. Hey, Trevor Matich joins us now. Of course, he's our man there on the ground with the Redskins. Trevor, are you just getting in from the party now, man?
Oh, no, I'm still on the way. The party's still going. How long has it been since we've had this much excitement with the Redskins in December?
Right.
Well, enjoy it.
What's amazing about what happened at the stadium last night is at the end of the day, the Redskins are at 500 and they're a game behind first place. But, boy, they acted like they had just won their first playoff game.
Well, it is really a playoff game because now the Redskins are in that position. With 4 games to go, the Redskins have 6 losses. The Giants have 5 losses. But if they can finish 1 game better than the Giants over the last 4 weeks, then the Redskins will hold the tiebreakers. And without going into those details, the Redskins are in good shape. Now, keep this in mind, that in the last 4 games, the Giants still have to play the Falcons, one of the best teams in the league. The Redskins have already played and lost to the Falcons, so the Giants still have to face Atlanta.
Right. Now, Trevor, I hate to put you in this position, but my journalistic credibility just forces me to have to point out the fact that yesterday you came on this show right here and absolutely trashed the Redskins defense. You were treating them like they were the Lions, for God's sake, the hate and vitriol coming out of your mouth toward the Redskins defense. Don't you want to apologize now? That defense was
hate and vitriol. It wasn't hate and vitriol. I just mentioned that the Redskins defense was rather a liability this year.
Well, and did they not prove you wrong last night?
No, they showed improvement. That's different than proving me wrong. And they showed improvement in some important ways. The Giants still were able to throw the ball with effectiveness, but the Redskins secondary, while the Giants caught a lot of passes, they didn't have yards after the catch. So they'd catch the ball, get dragged down right there. And because of that, even though the Giants had long drives, at the end of several of those drives, they had penalties that pushed them back and forced them to kick field goals.
Yeah.
So the Giants, even with all the long drives,
they were holding them.
Scored 1 touchdown.
I'm just teasing you, of course, but that's the huge improvement, isn't it, from the last time they played the Giants?
Well, yeah, and the thing is, they called a very aggressive game defensively, where they blitzed sometimes, they had different coverages at different times, and kept Eli Manning off balance most of the game.
All right, so I want to talk about, we all talk about RG3. We can all agree he's magnificent, he's amazing, he's astonishingly good. But talk about, Morris and Garcon. Those guys were getting it done.
The Redskins have only won, coming into this week, they've only won 1 game when Garcon was not playing. In other words, they couldn't win without it. They've only lost 1 game with him in the game.
Huh.
And so they can hardly lose without it.
Yeah.
Part of the reason is that he draws so much attention from defenses. And you look at some of the other receivers, Santana Moss and Aldrick Robinson, have double the yards per catch when Garcon is in the game than when he's not. When you look at Alfred Morris, he takes so much pressure off of RG3 because he's such a beast. I mean, most of the time, he gets hit around the line of scrimmage. Runs through the initial hit.
But it doesn't matter. That's right.
5 yards.
I really love to watch Morris run. I mean, it's a joy to watch that guy get it done every week. But I guess the thing that I'm sort of impressed with is that you got Morris and then you got Garcon, and then you still have out there. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. God.
Santana Moss.
Yeah. Santana Moss is out there. So, I mean, it's like there's no way you can cover all those bases.
Yeah, and they did a great job. Trevor, talk a little bit about what RG3 does to defenses right now. That's what they were really focusing on the commentary during the game, where he's so good at quickly reading whether it's in a zone or not that he can just basically, when he sees how the defense is lining up, he's such a weapon, he can do anything, right?
Well, when he throws the ball, one of the things is that he's got such a quick release. In other words, if you look at Tim Tebow on the other extreme, when he decides to throw the ball, he winds up like a big old grandfather clock before he finally throws it. RG3, when he makes a decision to throw it, that ball's out right now. And that's one of the reasons he's so successful in those situations. But here's how to be smart at the water cooler today.
Okay.
When you talk about the zone read and the option, the advantage that gives the Redskins defense is that they get an extra blocker at the point of attack. In other words, instead of blocking one of the defensive linemen at the point of attack, what they do is option him. So they don't have to block him. The guy that would normally have to block him can then go block somebody else. And so it gives them extra blockers when they do that. That's what to talk about at the water cooler today.
I'm totally using that.
Well, I'll definitely you take that one in.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, we've been pretty lucky on injuries. Are there any injuries? Because we got a short turnaround as we get ready for the Ravens.
You know, I'm not sure exactly what the injury report is, but it is the Redskins have been remarkably healthy this year. Trent Williams had played this game really magnificently with a thigh contusion, a left tackle, and ultimately one of the keys to the Redskins is that the offensive line, I think, has had the same 5 starters every game.
Yeah,
I think.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
and that's astonishing, and that's another reason that they've been doing well. And keep this in mind. You look at teams like the Giants and their 2 Super Bowl runs, and the Arizona Cardinals with Kurt Warner when they went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They were relatively average teams through November. Then they were healthy and got hot in December and in the playoffs. Well, guess what? The Redskins are healthy and hot right now. And they probably won't get a wild card because their record's not good enough. But they could win the division because the rest of the division is a hot mess of drama, injuries, and problems. So if they can get into the playoffs, they could make some noise.
Now, I know everybody, the old cliche is you take one game at a time, but if you take one game at a time, the next game really looms large, doesn't it?
It does. And the Redskins have done a good job. They won 3 in a row. And as journalists and then as fans, everybody is looking at what needs to happen over the next 4 games. But one of the things the Redskins did so well last night was they didn't worry about winning the game. They worried about winning the play.
Yep.
Young teams tend to want to win the game. So they try to do too much on any given play.
Just
and
focus on the next
they'll
thing.
make a mistake because of it.
Yeah,
and so they did a good job of focusing.
Just think about the next thing.
Yeah,
just focus on the next thing, that next play.
Listen, we're going to talk. We'll have all week to worry about the Ravens this Sunday, but let's all enjoy this as a city and really enjoy the win. Thanks, Trevor, so much.